Had to fix that. What's goody? So your boy here is live again. Over here chilling. You know what I'm saying? Just got off of my little processing thing today. Ain't nobody really on here right now, but I'm sure, I don't know what time it is over there. I'm 2 hours behind. I don't even know what time it is right now, but yeah, it's a little bit sunny out here. Fucking hot as fuck. In Colorado out of all the places, but I'm technically in the desert, so. But the coolest thing about this place is that, when it does get fucking cold, because it's going to get cold, next month's supposed to be the snow season. So when it gets cold, you already know it's going to get lit, It's going to, like, some fucking snowboarding, skiing, all that shit. Those mountains that's on the thumbnail is pretty much, it's pretty much right next to my barracks. I'm gonna switch over right here. Look at that. That's my barracks right there. That's where I stay at. And that's, like I said, that's the mountain right there. I don't know if you could do a close up, but shit, I can see it from over here. So like, if y'all look really close, in the middle, the top of the mountain, that's NORAD. That's like, big no-no to go to. And then you got the little hills and shit, right? You got like that hill that goes up to the mountains. You got houses and shit there, fucking $1 million houses. But that's pretty much how it looks right now. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty dope. Fort Carson's pretty lit. It's more to it. That building that's straight ahead out there, by them little trees that are way back there in the back, that's where I do my processing at. But back to me. So yeah, today was a fairly easy day. It's just more processing. But tomorrow, I go to Deers and have to do my paperwork and shit for this station. And then Friday, I'll be going to my unit. So it's pretty cool. But I wanted to talk about the basic training experience in Osut and shit like that. And I was talking to one of my subscribers about it, and he asked if you can fail basic, and you can't fail basic. Like the tests that they give you, like the every phase test, like you got red phase, white phase, and blue phase, you can't fail them because they're not trying to make you fail. So pretty much what happens, the only way you can fail basic is if you fail a PT test. And to let you know now, the red phase and the white phase PT test is not a big deal. Just those are more, you have a PT test every phase, and that's just pretty much to see where you're at. When you get a blue phase, that's when how can I put it? That's the real PT test for basic training only. Because once you pass that blue phase PT test, that's pretty much saying that you're a fucking soldier. So that's that pretty much that's the big one. So then when you go and you do the Osut PT test, which is gold phase. Black phase, you take a PT test also. That don't mean nothing. That's just to see where you're at throughout all the basic, all the smokings that you got and all that shit. And then when you get to black phase, that black phase PT test is just to see where you're at after basic. It does the minimum no longer exist during OSUT. I think they're changing that. So for you guys that are coming in now, how was it? So like basic training for me, your minimum PT score was a 50%, right? So at 50 points pretty much. So you need like a 300 is perfect score. So if you score 100%, max out all your fucking scores for each PT test, you get a 300, you know what I mean? But if you barely make it and you say, for example, your minimum for push-ups for your age group is 45. If you get 45, that's 50%. So that's going to be changing soon because I think it's for this next group that just came in, that's going to be 60% now. And then when you get to OSUT, it's still going to be 60%. But the whole goal is not to score 60%. The whole goal is to score 100. So you always want to try to maximize your PT scores. So back to what I was saying about the phases. So like that's the only way you can really fail basic training or OSUT is if you fail the PT test. When you get to your red phase, blue phase, white phase, all that shit, whatever, You know, the phase tests they're important because it's like a knowledge thing. It's like pretty much saying like what you remember throughout everything they taught you. You're gonna want to know that, but they give you a cheat sheet, so it's like you pretty much know the answers, and then they'll fuck with you because they'll be like, oh, with us, they're like, okay, how do you put an M4 together? And then you got to show them how you do it. And if you fuck up one step, they'll be like, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't fucking do that or you're gonna fail, you're gonna get a no-go. So, like, they pretty much let you recite the shit, like, or kind of show them in a way a little bit, and then it's like, all right, you know, you put the shit together the way it's supposed to be, and then boom, they give you a go for that particular event. But also, damn, it's fucking dry out here. My eye is watering. So like also out here, like, or not out here, but for like basic, for Cav Scouts, if you're like gonna go 19 Delta, when you get to black phase, you have to worry about, what's it called again? I'm trying to remember the name of that shit. So you have like black phase test, because remember the red, white, and blue phase test is all gonna be the same shit. It's pretty much what you learn through those phases, okay? Because red phase is all like the confidence cores, the team building cores, what else was it? You're gonna do a 4K ruck march, which is like 8 laps around a track, which is booty as fuck. It was nothing. What else did we do? The hand grenades, which is not the actual live grenades. They just teach you how to throw dummy grenades. And there was something else that we did, but I can't remember. I think that was it. But it pretty much is 3 weeks of hell, because most of the time you're just getting fucked up. So white phase is it's like 4 weeks. It's all range. It's the whole range week. You fucking practice with washer and dime drills inside the bay, which is boring as fuck, but it's definitely needed. And then you also have, you go to the range like a few days later, you practice, you zero your weapon, and then after you zero your weapon, you fuck around, and then you go shoot targets for like, I think a week or so, you're shooting targets. Then that next following week, all you're doing is just shooting, pre-qualing and all that shit. Then the third week, you basically fucking qualify or whatever, and then the fourth week, you're cleaning your weapons and this and that, because you're not gonna use your M4 again, only for blanks. But so that's pretty much white phase, and then the white phase PT test, you have that, and then you have a 8K ruck march in between. Then you have the blue phase. You have an 8, and then a 12K. Then you have blue phase PT test. Not blue phase PT test. Blue phase is pretty much the rappel tower, the actual live hand grenades, which is pretty dope. You shoot, in my instance, for Cav Scouts, the 249 SAW, a squad automatic weapon, but Cav Scouts don't use that anymore. We use the 240 Bravo, which is like a more, I can't say lighter, because I think the 249 is way lighter, but the 240 Bravo is more oomph, you know what I mean? And it's a lot bigger to me, but it just, that bitch, it fires 7.62 rounds. The 249 fires 5.56 rounds, same as the M4. So, like, that's pretty, you know, like, just shooting that squad automatic weapon was tight as fuck, though. I ain't gonna lie. But we got to shoot that, and then we also got to shoot the 240. But y'all not gonna be shooting, if you're becoming a Cav Scout, you're not gonna be shooting that no more. And then you also do grenade launchers, attached to your M4. You're not shooting them fucking by themselves, and they're fucking dummy rounds. So like orange powder comes out of them, and fucking what else? I'm trying to think what else you do. Fucking blue phase. I can't remember what else you do blue phase. I think that's pretty much it, because blue phase is 3 weeks. Then you at the end, you obviously do a 16K, which is a 10 mile ruck march, which is like nothing. To me, it was nothing. I'm a strong rucker, so that ain't shit. And it's like 35 pounds, which is like light as fuck, in my opinion. Like that ruck march though. Once you're done with that ruck march, you're officially a soldier. They give you the U.S. Army patch. At first, you're like, oh man, it's so cool, this and that. You know, I'm officially a soldier with the U.S. Army patch. But then you're like, fuck that. I want an actual unit patch. You know what I mean? After that, you get your family day. And then when you get your family, that's like 3 days. You don't get to stay out at night, but you get to go out from like 05 a.m. to like, depends on what company you're with or the commander or whatever. Like we got to stay out till 2000, so basically 8 o'clock. That shit was pretty dope. That was lit. A couple of buddy of mine had a good time. I had a good time. You can sign your battle buddies out, or you can also fucking just like your family can sign you out or sign them out too. You know what I mean? So you go around. This is pertaining to Fort Benning. So like you can go around Macon Road, which is pretty dope. It has like not pretty dope. It just got some good eatery there, some good food. And then there's a road called Victory Lane, which is like, I guess the big no that you're supposed to go to. There's a lot of strip clubs and shit there. But that's just like, I didn't go there obviously. But the cool thing about, I guess, Osut is that you're supposed to get more privileges. In our instance, our troop didn't give a fuck about privileges at all. These motherfuckers were like, I don't care about no goddamn privileges. So we privileges pretty much like you get to walk to the PX by yourself instead of being marched over there, because in red phase, you're marched everywhere. White phase, you get to walk by yourself from the DFAC. You get marched to the DFAC, walk back by yourself to the barracks. And then blue phase, same shit, but you get to walk by yourself to the PX and come back. You get to walk by yourself to the PX, you walk by yourself back to the PX. OSUT is supposed to be like that, and also you're supposed to have your phones in your lockers. That shit ain't gonna happen. You're supposed to have more phone time. Every time, like every phase, you're supposed to get gradually more phone time. Gold phase, you're pretty much like the man in the fucking, like either Sand Hill or Harmony Church. Sand Hill is where the infantry's at. Harmony Church is really fucking small, and that's where the Cav Scouts are at. So, once in gold phase, like black phase, you learn the M2, the 240 Bravo. You also learn the Mark 19, the MK19. You learn the 50 cal, and you learn the 50 cal Mark 19. What else? It's I think Call for Fire, I want to say. Damn, I can't remember. Yeah, we did Call for Fire, and pretty much it's like it teaches you, it's for getting you ready for the Saber Challenge. That's what that was. So like Cav Scouts got to do Saber Challenge, and you have to pass the Saber Challenge. And during black phase, if you don't pass it, that's pretty much your phase test. That's the only one you really need to study for, because if you don't pass it, you get reclassed, like line cook in the Army or some shit like that. No lie. But that's just for a Cav Scout. I don't know about the Army. I really don't know about the Army, the infantry. I'm not sure what they do, like for their blackface stuff, but for a Cav Scout, you have to do Saber Challenge, and Saber Challenge is pretty much knowing the 50 cal, the Mark 19, the 240, and knowing how to do Call for Fire and putting a radio together and operating it also. Like you will have plenty of time to study that shit, because blackface, you barely doing shit. You just fucking with all that. It's all Saber Challenge shit. You also have some FTXs in between. So like you got FTX 1, which you're out in the field for a day, and then you come back to the barracks. White phase, you have FTX 2, which you stay out in the field for, you stay out in the field for 2 days, and it's like learning how to walk in a wedge formation on a file, reacting to contact, breaking contact, all that bullshit. Blue phase is FTX 3. You stay out there for 3 days, and that's putting everything you learn to, that's the drill sergeants teach you a couple more stuff about the wedge formation, how to break contact, all that good stuff, whatever. But you do missions. And then the blue phase, which is FTX 4, which is a big one. That's 4 days out in the field, and everything you learned from all the other FTXs is put into one. So like pretty much, you got to learn how to walk. You got to do a wedge formation on your own. You got to set up an OP. You got to fucking set up an ORP. You got to set up an RP is the objective rally point, and like you got to set up like fucking just like you just got to learn. You just got to know what the hell you were doing for every other fucking thing that you did already. So pretty much like it's dope as fuck. Like I love the field. Like I know pretty soon. So like when I did my processing yesterday, I met my sponsors. I'm going out to NTC next month. I just got here. Just got out of Osut. Just got here. I pretty much got told that I'm going to California to go train, and then I'm not gonna say where, and then I'm getting deployed in March. I'm not gonna say where, but that's where I'm gonna be at. So for 30 days, I'll be in California. So like I said, I'm not gonna say where I'm going or anything like that, because operational security and shit like that. But other than that, like it's just like this whole experience is pretty dope. The field is great, and like I said, Osut. I mean, Osut is like for me it was a shitty ass experience, but for other people it might be different. And then gold phase, my dudes, that's you made it. You like once you pass that like gold phase, you have the FTX4, you have the 20K, which is 12-mile ruck march. We rucked all the way from FTX4, which was like literally 14 miles away, and I know goddamn 12, 14, all the way to the barracks. And once we got there, we went to this. I think in total we really did 16 miles, because we went an extra 2 miles to 2.5 miles to the bonfire, and we had a ceremony there for the Cav Scouts, and they gave us our sabers, which was pretty fucking dope. Like it was pretty cool. Once all that happened, it was pretty much it. Like I think they had us like cleaning the barracks and stuff like that, just getting ready for the next cycle, and then fucking just cleaning. That's all we did, was just clean, and we had to get our ASUs ready and stuff like that for graduation. So it was pretty cool. But other than that, like that's pretty much all we did. So, but yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all later.